Hey guys, I know it's been a couple of weeks since my last update. I apologize. It's just been pretty chaotic, and honestly, I haven't really wanted to update. I just been, I don't know, when I'm finally feeling like it, I've got so many other things that I need to do to catch up on that I just really haven't felt like doing an update. But I'll get to the craziness and chaos part of everything momentarily. Other than that, I'm 13 weeks in one day. I am definitely looking pregnant. Definitely need maternity clothes. My belly, like uterus wise, is that of like an 18-week pregnant person. So definitely ahead of the curve. Having two in there is way different than one. Totally different ball game. But I'm loving every second of it. Really excited about everything. Super excited to like be walking into the second trimester, which is a really great feeling. We had our NT scan and everything was good with that. I mean, it's been good, you know. I mean, with as far as that goes. Now on to the chaotic part. About a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, my blood pressure started going crazy. I've never had issues with blood pressure. Always had low blood pressure. Well, apparently my body decided to go insane. I went to an OB appointment and it was a little high, and she's like, go home, monitor it, rest. By the time I get home, I have like a massive headache. I get my blood pressure cuff and I lay down and I take my blood pressure and it's 195 over 155 with a pulse rate of 140. And I'm like, okay, is this right? I call a nurse friend over. She comes over to take my blood pressure manually. It's just as bad, if not worse. She ends up calling the paramedics because she's worried about a hypertensive crisis situation. So I end up going down to the emergency room in an ambulance, and my blood pressures were all over the place crazy. Needless to say, I spent 7 days hospitalized. They admitted me, and I got transferred from one hospital to another where my high risk specialists were. Lots of monitoring, all kinds of just tests to rule out weird endocrine tumors, and I mean, just really crazy stuff. So yeah, really long 7 days, and I was so out of it and so miserable and depressed that I was not even going to think about updating at that point. It was horrid. It was absolutely horrid. And so I finally got out. I'm on blood pressure medication. Yay, not, but glad that it's actually controlling things right now. It totally weird. I mean, obviously, you know, my internal med doctors say it's pregnancy related. The OBs say it's too early for it to be pregnancy related. I obviously think it is because I've never had issues up until now. I'm sure it has something to do with, you know, a twin pregnancy, the placenta's kicking in at that point in time too. I mean, there's a lot of variables, but anyways, at the end of the day, the medications are helping. I'm home. I am stable. Still toying with dosage to try to get things in like a sweet spot, because sometimes I do run a little bit high, like in the 140s over 90 range still, which is not something they like. So I'm working with my dose and trying to figure that out. They have me on labetalol, is what it's called, and the first few days of side effects were totally insane. I was depressed, crying over absolutely nothing, really bad headaches. Just yeah, it's been a rough couple of weeks, to say the least. And unfortunately, my mom is still having some more complications from her issues and possibly looking at a quadruple bypass. And we have a lot of things going on right now that is pretty stressful, and it's been hard to kind of get back into a routine and get my mind back in the right place after everything. And so at this point, I'm on modified bed rest too. So I can do minimal things, you know, I can get up, I can do stuff, but I can't get my heart rate up. I can't do any kind of physical activity. They want me to rest as much as possible, which is great because I am, you know, I don't work outside of the home, so I can rest as much as I want and totally just binge watch on Netflix and let that be that. But obviously, it's kind of sad. You know, I just really wasn't expecting there to be complications this early on. I wasn't, especially not with this. You know, I thought maybe a little bit of spotting or something like that, but I wasn't really expecting this to pop up like this, especially not when I don't have history of high blood pressure. So anyways, it was a big surprise, and it's been kind of strange to adjust to another medication and all of that jazz. But at least at the same time, I'm tapering off of all the other medications. I finally am off the estradiol injections, and I'll be on the progesterone for a little bit longer just for my own comfortability, and then I plan to do the vaginal progesterone for quite a while after that, because it's been shown to help with cervical length and preterm labor and things like that. So I'll be doing that for a while, but, you know, tapering off of all the other crazy medications, and so that's good. I'm starting to taper off the prednisone too, which I'll be at like a 5 milligram dose until about 20 weeks, but I was at 40 milligrams, so that was pretty high of a dose. So I'm just starting to taper down off of that. It's going to take a while, but hopefully that will help as well with everything, and I'll get rid of some puffy faceness. But you know, least of my worries at this point. I'm just trying to take it day by day, pray, and have as much faith as I can that these babies are going to be okay. You know, I check up on them every day with the Doppler. The Doppler is so helpful for me. If I didn't have that thing, I can't even tell you where I'd be. It is absolutely a lifesaver for me. I listen to them every morning, and it's just, yeah, it's good. So other than that, you know, my life is going to be pretty boring. I'm not going to be able to do much. I'll probably have more time to do updates and things of that sort. Let's see if I can, I don't think I can switch it around. I have some pictures of the little guys or girls. They look like little people now. They're all big with faces, profiles, and it's really cool. I'll put a picture at the beginning of this video too of another ultrasound I had that has like a way better profile picture with the two of them. So I'll try to put that at the beginning. But they're doing good as far as I know, considering everything, and hopefully that continues to be the case, and we don't have any more craziness or any more scares, because you know, it's really hard on the anxiety, especially this early, to be having complications, you know, when there's already so many risks associated with, you know, the multiple gestation and everything else. But I am still so thankful for each of them, and yeah, so the other thing is we're going to be booking a private scan in the next couple of weeks to try to find out what we're having. I really am anxious to know. Everybody wants to know. I keep getting asked every time I'm out, do you know what you're having yet? And so yeah, I can't even wait to find out. So I'll have really cool pictures of the 4D scan and all of that stuff, hopefully in another couple of weeks. And hopefully we'll know what we're having. I have started to think about names a little bit, but it's kind of hard when you don't know what you're having. So especially when you have to pick two names out, and you kind of need to know if you need two boy names, two girl names, one of each, you know, things like that. So the only name we really have solidly is Josiah for a boy. It was one that I've had picked out for 5 years that I have always wanted to use for our boy if we were to actually, you know, be able to have another child. So that's the only one that's actually solid and set in stone. Everything else is totally up in the air, and I have no idea what we're gonna do as far as that goes, but it's gonna be good. Hopefully we can agree on something, and you know, my husband and I always have a hard time agreeing when it comes to names. It's always been kind of a running joke with us, like it's just, yeah. So hopefully we find something that we agree on for both of them, and you know, take it step by step. it's kind of surreal. I have to say I'm still kind of like in denial. I don't know. I went through the first trimester, I don't know, kind of expecting that maybe one of them wouldn't make it, or I don't even know. I didn't want to have too many expectations and then be totally crushed. And so making it to the second trimester and getting this far and being where we are now is pretty exciting. I'm just still trying to take it day by day because, you know, after everything we've been through, you know, stillbirths and everything else, it's you already know what can and does happen, and the worst of the worst horror stories, you know, just being in other loss support groups and things like that. So knowing all of that, you can never unknow that, and I think it kind of makes it hard to accept things in the long run, at least for me. And I'm definitely getting there, and I'm embracing, and I'm excited, and I'm joyful, but there's always that part of me that still is a little reserved, and I wish that I didn't have that jadedness, and I don't know that that'll ever go away. But at least I'm not super anxious like I was between like 6 and 8 to 9 weeks, because that was really hard. I was petrified and totally anxious ridden, and I don't have that. I have very few days where I feel that now. Like I said, it's just always in the back of your mind, because I don't think you are ever able to unknow what you know about what can and does happen to so many people, if that makes sense. So, you know, like I said, at this point, we're just going to take it day by day, pray, and just be thankful for this amazing opportunity and the lives that are in there, and pray for them every day. And I can't wait to get through this process and meet them at the end. You know, like it's such a short process in retrospect, but it seems so long in the midst of it, you know. And I can't wait to meet these little people. And it's, like I said, it's such a blessing to be able to be here, and I don't take it for granted 1 second. I'm so thankful, and regardless of the complications and everything else, I am just thrilled to be in this position. And I couldn't ask for more. You know, I really couldn't. I love each of them so very much, and it's been such an amazing journey. You know, I remember in November just wondering if it was even going to work, you know, if the transfer had even worked. And now here we are, you know, and they've got fingers and toes and all their parts and moving and kicking, and it's pretty exciting. So anyways, that's kind of my update. I wish I had, you know, more cool stuff to talk about and less chaos in my life. You know, it's hard for me to kind of talk about symptoms and you know, belly sizes and things like that, because I've got so much other stuff swirling around, and I'm kind of surviving day to day, trying to just have hope and faith, you know. But I'll get there and you know, start taking all kinds of belly pictures and things like that. And yeah, so I'll try to, like I said, update a little more frequently and let you guys know what's going on. And hopefully from here on out, we don't have any more drama, and it's just complication and craziness free. I know, one can hope, right? Wishful thinking probably, but one can hope. So that's what I'm going for. Fingers crossed. But anyways, thanks you guys for everything and for watching and all that jazz. And I'll be back in a week or so to update.